form works, captures data, but input data can be messy. Now the form works, it captures data, but input can be messy. But data can be messy. Non-labeled JSON, now the form works. It captures data, but the input data that comes in can be messy. Non-labeled raw JSON can be sent to the... Now the form works. It captured data, but the input data can be messy. Raw JSON can't be sent to a database or API, at least not yet. Now this episode, we clean the data up and you'll be able to see exactly what changes. You'll see transformations happen in real time. Now the last episode, you built a form that captured the form data, but workflows don't just capture data, they transform. Every node needs to do one job, then pass that result to the next node. Now data flows left to right, just like reading a sentence. The form trigger gave you raw input. Now you need a node that cleans it, the set node. It's going to take the messy data and make it structured. You're going to add it, connect it, run it, then inspect what changed. All right, so now to get this started, click on the plus symbol here to the right side of your form trigger node, and we're going to search set. You'll see this edit field set node. Give that a click. It's going to open up. Now, before you do anything here, what I want you to do is X out of this just so you can see what's going on. I want you to see on the canvas, it's already connected. That line between them is the data path. The output from the form flows into the set node. This is how n8n thinks. Nodes in sequence. Each one transformed what the previous one gave it. Now you configure this node to do what you need it to do to the data. So double click the node to open it up, and we're going to rename it for clarity. And we're going to call this set define research topic. So the mode is already on manual mapping. So now we go ahead and click add field. And we're going to name this first field here. And we're going to name this first field clean topic. I'm going to actually make this simpler. And we're going to name this first field clean topic. And you don't have to have the underscores, I just do that. And we're going to leave this as a string data type. Now here on the left hand side of the screen, you are seeing the input that came from the form. So what we need here in the value box is an expression. Now you can manually enter this in. Right now you'll see there's fixed and expression. If I click over to expression, it's looking for JavaScript. But this is the beauty of working with n8n. All we have to do is grab this field, drag it on over, and there you go. Now, one of the things that we want to do here is add the trim function to that. And that's going to remove extra spaces before and after the input text. Now, this is good in case somebody hits the space bar before or after input and there's like invisible characters hanging out. I know when I type my name in fields, I'll type K-A-N and then hit the space bar for whatever reason. With that, we're going to go ahead and add this trim function to this. So we're going to click inside of these closing double brackets right after the end of this square bracket. And I'm going to put dot trim, and you'll see Some of the fields pop up here of what this can be. If we wanted to set this to specifically trim the end or specifically trim the start, then we could use either of these, but we're just going to go with this top trim, which is going to basically do it on both sides. Now, in our case, honestly, this isn't necessary. The browser, the way this form is set up, it automatically will trim this out if there's leading spaces or following spaces, but there's going to be instances where these are hooked up to other forms, so it's good to know how to do this and what is needed to set this up in this way. So with that, now we've got clean topic. We're going to go ahead and set up our researcher name. So we're going to type in here clean name. Data type is string, and then in the value space we're going to drag down researcher name. And then we're going to put one more field here, which is the submitted at. Call this. And then we'll drag this submitted at, and this will allow us to place this into our form. And when I say place into the form, I mean this is going to allow us to place the date that this came in into our form. And later I'll show you how you can add some formatting to make date time fields show up a specific way. For now, we're just going to let this be. We can include other input fields turned off. And that's going to get rid of any extras. We don't need form mode test showing up. So that just gets rid of everything that we don't need. All right, so with these three fields here, now you're not just cleaning data for fun. This research assistant will call APIs, store results, send summaries. Now every node downstream needs the clean input. So we're building a foundation for that. Now executing and inspecting data transformation. Now let's test it. We'll click execute step. And now we can see here in the output module, clean topic, clean name, submitted at. Don't have any extra spaces. Again, our data as it is would have came in this exact way, but I do want to just set you up so that you just have these systems in place, being that you may not always have the safeguard of the n8n form as you grow and expand your use of this workflow. Now this is real-time transformation. You can see what changes as you go through each node. Every time you add a node, it's going to do this same thing. Take some input, transform it, and pass it on. Now you just learned how n8n thinks in nodes. Nodes in sequence, data flowing left to right. Each node transforms and passes forward. You can now read a workflow. You see a set node, you know it's cleaning data. You can inspect any node and see what it did to the data. No black box. You've got full eyes on the prize. Now your research assistant has clean input, labeled, structured, and ready for the next step. That's the outcome. You can now read what's happening inside of a workflow and understand why the nodes are connected in a specific order. That's the skill that we're building on. Episode 3 is next, and episode 3 is coming up next, and it's called Talking to the Internet, your first API call. So you'll take this clean research topic and send it to an AI. The workflow is going to call Perplexity's API, live web results, real data coming back on in, and you'll see how n8n stores credentials securely so you're not hard coding API keys into your workflow. One node, one API call, your research assistant starts thinking. Make sure you save this playlist if you haven't yet.